Hi everyone. This is a crash course on Python. Myself, Raghuprasad Konandur, CEO of Kaushalya Technical Training and Consultancy Services. So, a brief introduction about me. I have overall 24 years of experience. I'm into IT from last 17 years. Before that, I worked as a lecturer in engineering college for about 7 years. I worked in multiple companies like Cisco, CSE, ICSE group of companies, First Apex Entity Data. Currently I'm into corporate training and consultancy. So, as from the technology perspective, I worked on multiple technologies like Java, Python, AI, ML, Internet of Things, test automation. So, also I'm a professional yoga trainer and a motivational speaker. So, a bit about Kaushalya Technologies is an educational technology company started by IT professionals and academicians. So, we have offices in Jakkur and Sahkar Nagar in Bangalore. We are into IT niche training, consultancy, and educational application development. We conduct faculty development training, student development training, and also internship programs for the educational institutions. We also conduct boot camp and niche IT skills training for corporates. So these are all the few of our major clients. So briefly, I will introduce you Python as a generic programming language, and also how Python is important skill to be learned and mastered by the trainees, be it a student from a college or an IT professional. And the outcome is quickly get started with Python programming. It would be a hands-on session. So where we will be doing quick introduction to various programming building blocks of Python so that you can code along with me. So first let me start with what is a Python. So as we know, Python is a high level dynamic object oriented programming language. It is very easy to program and read, and it has strong built-in data types, and it is very great for text processing, and it has many implementations. The common implementation which we will be using is C Python. There are other implementation as well. So in this hands-on session, we will be using Anaconda Python, a Python distribution from the programming perspective. So there are many programs which are compiled, few of them are interpreted. Python is a hybrid programming in the sense it's compiled as well as interpreted. So what are the key features of Python? One is it is free and open source. As it is free and open source, many people developed their own libraries and contributed to the community. So that's why we have huge library set. It is easy to code. It is object oriented, interpreted, also portable in the sense you can write the program on a particular operating system. Same program could be used in different operating system. And it has built-in support for the GUI programming, database programming. Many companies already using Python like YouTube, Quora, Instagram, many companies as well as their products, they are using Python, Flipkart, Slack, Uber, to mention a few. If you look at any survey in terms of the top programming languages, so Python will be there at least in one among the top 5. So it has gradually the graph of Python in terms of the usage as well as in terms of using it in real world, real IT, developing real solution is being increased every day. So Python is also a good programming language for the data science. There are some other competitors for Python, namely R and SAS, but still Python is preferred by the industry. So as I mentioned earlier on, Python is being used by many companies like YouTube, Yahoo, Google. Google uses it for Google Spider in the search engine, which is written in Python. There are many other like Python. Yum is a utility which is used on Linux operating system that is also written in Python. Shopzilla, a comparison website, also uses Python, so it is already extensively being used. The main important thing if you learn Python is you can get into multiple things. If you learn first Python as a generic programming language, and then you using that you can build graphical user interface applications. You can also you can also connect with the backend databases. You can use it for internet scripting in terms of getting the data from scraping the data from various websites, collating all those things. You can develop a system utility. You can develop a system utility, maybe like for example, a utility to just take the backup of a particular file on a periodic basis. So that can be done. It is being extensively used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, as well as image processing. It is nowadays being used in the embedded programming. So there is something called MicroPython. Using MicroPython, you can do the embedded programming. Traditionally, C and C++ were being used for the embedded programming. Now, currently, you can use Python also. Python also is used for test automation. So hence, Python has become a very important programming language. If you learn Python, and you can diversify yourself into various fields. So that is what is the that's why people more and more people are getting into Python. More and more people are learning Python. So it is being used in weather forecasting from the data analysis perspective, scientific analysis in the scientific laboratories, targeted advertisements, also like finding the frauds in a banking or insurance or BFSI, risk management. So why Python is becoming so popular is many people, as I told earlier on, return the libraries which would be used to solve many problems, be it data sciences, be it image processing. So there are people started contributing as it is an open source. Like there are libraries like Panda, SciPy, which could be used for data analysis as well as machine learning. So there are other many companies which is being used, which uses Python. For example, Forecast Watch for weather forecasting, real-time advertisement. Los Alamos is the scientific research laboratory that also uses Python. So Python was conceptualized by a guy called Guido van Rossum. He's from Netherlands, and he was very much impressed with the Monty Python's flying circus. So that's why he kept the name Python, even though it started almost in the same time as that of Java. So initially Java became highly popular, but as in the last 5 years, 5 to 6 years, due to the explosion of the internet, due to the availability of the due to the increase in the computing power of any system, Python has become more popular. So nowadays, people use social medias uh, to generate the data, as well as machines are generating the data in the form of Internet of Things. So as we are getting a lot of data every now and then, so it becomes very much essential to analyze the data and to make sense of the data, to find out the hidden truth under the data. So that is where Python become popular. So it is being implemented. It's being implemented to solve many problems. So from the perspective of pros, like it is being used in data science, it is embeddable, extensible, readable. A lot of IoT projects are using Python. It's object oriented, but it is bit slow, and also it's not very good libraries available for mobile computing, and the database layers are not very much extensively developed. So these are the few of the cons. So if you learn Python, you would be flying like this guy. Hope you want to fly like this the guy, because by learning Python, which is object oriented, interactive, functional, interpreted, dynamic, highly readable. So I hope you all will fly like this guy. So this is a brief introduction about the Python. Now we will start writing the small programs and understand the features of Python. So for that, we will be using Anaconda. So how to download Anaconda? Just you can go to the net. You can say download Anaconda. When you click on the download Anaconda, so you can download either 64-bit or 32-bit based on your operating system. If you are using a Windows operating system, you can download this and then you can install it. It's not very hard to install. Just click and then install. So I have already installed Anaconda, and in Anaconda I will be using a IDE called as Spider. So you can open the Spider IDE. I already uh, opened the Spider IDE, and now let me create a folder for this, and then let me start with the basics of Python programming. So let me create a folder called Python Crash Course. Okay, so I will open that folder. Yeah, so I will open that folder. Okay, so let us start with writing simple programs. So let me create a file called getting started.py. Okay, so you can view that file in the file explorer. So any programming language, as you know, like the first program what we write is hello. So control plus plus to zoom it. So print hello, welcome to Python. Hello, welcome to Python, right? So now just we will be writing in order to print hello, we will be just writing only one line of code. So you can compare this with other programming languages like C or Java, where you have to write at least minimum 4 to 5 lines of code. So you can execute this and then you can see the output. Hello, welcome to Python. So that's why it is said this programming is very simple. Now let us look at the various data types. In other programming languages, we have to explicitly write the data. When we define a variable, we have to mention the type of the data, but here it is not so. Suppose for example, I create a variable called as course, and I can say Python, and if I want to print, I can say print course. So I can run only these two lines of code. It is printing Python because Python is a constant, string constant or string literal, and it is assigned to a variable called as course, and we are printing this. So now we wanted to know the data type. So there are eight major data types available in Python. How do we know like what is the data type the course variable is assigned to? For that, we can say print type of course. When I run this, see it says data type is string. Data type is string. So string is one of the data types. So the data type is of a variable is determined based on the value whatever we assign to that particular variable. If I put a variable either inside a single quote or inside a double quote, that is treated as a string. So with that, let me introduce you to the various data types which are majorly used in Python. So the data types. So these are the few data types like string, that is str. So class str, then you have integer, which is int. Then you have boolean. Here we call it as bool. And then you have float, which is float. So all the data types here are class. Then you have list. You have tuple. You have dictionary. And then set. So these are the different data types that is being used in Python. So let us see one by one. Already I have given example of how to use string data type. Let me use the int. So I say age is equal to some value, and so I can print the age. So it is going to print the age, which is 35, and I want to know the data type of the age. Then I can say print type of age. So which is class int. So all the data type here are classes. So it says class int. So like this, you have suppose a amount. It's a fraction. So when I say print of type of amount, so amount I had to run. So I had to run the amount, and then I can print this. Okay, so this is class float. Then boolean. Suppose is active. Boolean I had to use either true true or false. T is capital. So I can say print of type of is active. So it is a bool. So these are the four data types where at a time we used to store one value at a time. So namely the string, integer, boolean, and then float. So there are few data types or advanced data types, or you can call it as data structure, where we can store more than one value at a time. The first one is the list. So the list. So how to use the list? List is, you can compare that with the array, but it is, you can call it as a dynamic array. Compared to other programming languages, it is a dynamic array, and also it can hold different data types. Not necessarily it should be a homogeneous data types. Let us say I want to create an array of even number, then I could say even numbers is equal to, array is represented using a square bracket. Suppose I can say 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma 8 comma 10, and I can print this. I can print this. Okay. So the next thing is, I want to know what is the data type. So as you know, like it is print of type of even numbers. So it is a list. So class list. And the next data type we have is a tuple. So tuple is similar to list. Only thing is you cannot change the list once you already created. So this tuple is basically used where we know like the elements of the data, elements of a tuple is not going to change quite often. For example, days in a week or months in a year, they are not going to change. So if you want to use, if you are sure like that the elements of a particular list is not going to change, then we can use a tuple for that purpose. So for example, days, we can say tuple is represented using the parenthesis Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. like this. So I can say print type of days. Okay, so this is a tuple. Next we have dictionary. Suppose I want to create a telephone dictionary of my family members. So then we can use dictionary. Dictionary is represented using open flower bracket, close flower bracket, and then it is a key value pair. So dictionary is a key value pair. We come across so many key value pairs in real life. We come across so many key value pairs, like for example our name and our mobile number. So our name and our Aadhaar number, our driving vehicle license, so many are the key value pairs where key should be unique, value not necessarily unique. Say for example, key value should be separated by a colon. So this is what is a key value pair. So now I want to print this. Print tally. It is going to print this. This is a dictionary. So I want to know the data type. Then print type of tally. So this is a dictionary, right? So next we have is a set. So set is again like mathematical set, and it should not contain a duplicate value. Suppose I have some num set. So again set is represented using flower bracket. Then I can say type of Okay, so this is set. So we have getting started with using the Python, where printing Python is very simple. Like, I mean, just printing hello is very simple. Just you can get started directly with print, and then we have gone through the various data types, namely the string, integer, boolean, float, list, tuple, dictionary, and set. So next we will start with operators. Operators.py. Operators.py. So as we know, like any other programming languages, there are operators. Similarly, here also we have different operators. So namely arithmetic operator, relational operators, logical operators. Yeah, so these are the three operators we will discuss. Also, you have bitwise operator, which I'm not going to discuss. And also you have assignment operators. Okay. So as we know, like arithmetic operators are like plus, minus, star, slash, floor division, double slash, percentage, modulus, and then you have exponent, double star. And then you have relational operators, namely greater than, lesser than, greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, double equal to, not equal to, right? And then you have logical operators, and, or, not, bitwise operator, just to give you two, and then or, then XOR. You have many. And assignment operator, which is equal to, and then plus equal to, like star equal to. So we'll see one by one. So let me define a variable called num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 5. I want to use the arithmetic operator plus. So I will, let me define a variable result is equal to num1 plus num2, right? So this is a arithmetic addition. Then I can say print result. So comma for concatenating and then displaying the value of a variable with the expression or with some comments. So this is how we can use the arithmetic operator. So two operands, number one, number two, and then the operator plus. So like this we can use. So another thing is like plus, minus, star, slash. So let us say I say num1 is 15. You can reassign the variables to some other value. So that is what makes it different from other programming languages. So now I wanted to do the division. So I say num1 slash num2. So this is a floating division. So the result is 2.0. Whenever I say, okay, I think I have not run this. Yeah, it is 3.75. If I want the floor division, that means what will happen? Num1 double slash num2, it is going to give me only the integer part. It is going to ignore the fraction part, right? And also, you know the modulus of num1 percent num2 which is 15 by 4, 4 3s are 12, then it is 3, right? So this is what is the modulus. So like this, you can use the arithmetic operator. Next comes the relational operator. So the outcome of a relational operator is either true or false. Say, let me take another variable like num3, which is say 12. Now I want to compare like num1 greater than num2, right? As num1 is 15, num2 is 4, obviously it is greater than. The outcome is true or false. So where t is capital, true. So this is true. If I say num1 lesser than num2, which is false, so it is going to say it is false. So outcome is either true or false. So this is how we can use the second operator, relational operator. So the one which we have done completed is arithmetic, and then the relational. So you can use the logical operators in similar way, but there should be two expressions. Logical operators. So how to use it? So let us club these two things. So let us say num1 greater than num2. This is one expression, and then and again let me say num1 greater than num3. So in this case num1 is greater than num2 as well as num3. So if on the both side of the and, if it is true, then the expression whatever we get is true, or it evaluates to true, right? It is. So num3 is not defined, means let me run this. Right? So this is how we can use it. This is a true. So next, like this way you can use and or not. So you can use in a similar way and or not. Then let me use the assignment operator. Anyways, you know, like this is a assignment operator. You can use plus equal to, like for example, or shorthand operators. So you can say sum is equal to 0, sum is equal to sum plus say 5. Instead of using this, so you can also say sum is equal to sum plus equal to sum plus 5, or say result is equal to, rather, so it prints 5. Again, sum is a built-in function, or okay. So this is how we can use it. So this is pretty much about the operators. So now let us move to the how do you use the various data structures, higher order data types. So let us start with the list. So a list is like a dynamic array. So it is dynamic, it is indexable, and it can contain duplicate values, and you can modify the value of an existing list. So how to use it? Let us again start with, say, data is equal to 3 comma 5 comma 8 comma 9. So if I print this, yeah, I'm getting this. So I want to access a particular element. You can access the element using the indexes. As you know, like indexes start with 0. The first one, 3 is 0th index, 1, 2, 3. So you can either use positive index or negative index. So whenever I say data of 0, it is going to give me 3. So it is 3. Also, you can say data of 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 is not there. So then it says list index out of range. So you want to create a new list by slicing something that you can do using the indexes. Suppose a new list is equal to data of, say, 1 comma 3, 1 comma say 4. So what it is going to do is, so it is 1 colon 4. So I got new, you can say new list from the variable explorer. If you look at the variable explorer, so let me print it. So I got 5, 8, 9. So how I got 5, 10? So it started with the first index, last index minus 1. So what is the last index? 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. That means 0, then 1 is 1, 2, 3. So it has sliced this list into a new list. So this is what is a new list. This is how you can do. Also, you can use the negative index. Suppose I say data of minus 1, so it is going to give me the last element, that is 9. So negative index starts from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, like this. So it is going to give me the 9. Okay, you can append you can append element to a, if you want to add an element to a list, you have to use the append built-in function, dot append. Say I want to add 11. So my data now is, if you print data, you can see the 11 is appended. Append, all the time append happens at the end of the list. So it is going to add the element to the end of the list. This is how you can append. And we have some built-in functions, lot of built-in functions. I want to find the maximum. Then you can say maximum of data. It is going to print the maximum element in this list, which is 11. So it is going to print 11. Similarly, I want to print the minimum. I can say minimum of data. And I want to print maximum, minimum, and then sum. It is going to sum all the elements. These are all the built-in function. That means it has summed. Int object is not callable. Probably I have used another variable with the name sum. So let me kill this, because earlier when I defined a variable with the name sum. That's why it is saying that it is not callable because I defined it as an integer. So that's why let me close this console. It is going to open a new console and I run that. Then I would be getting the sum. So it is creating a new kernel. So this is how we can use a list which is dynamic, and also I can change the value of an element. Already if I have defined, I can change the value of an element. That is what I can do with the list. Suppose I meanwhile, like if I want to change the value of an element, then I can say, see, let me run it again. So this is what is my data, and this is what I appended. So now let me print the sum. So it is going to print the sum like 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 11. So this is what is, these are all the built-in functions, minimum, maximum. There is another built-in function called len. I want to find the length of the list. This is how I can do. And then like this, these are the, this is the built-in function len. Yeah, this is pretty much brief introduction about the list and the functionalities associated with list. Yeah, there are many built-in functions, so I won't have the time to explain all those things as it is a crash course. So let me stop here only for the list. So next is a dictionary. As I mentioned, like dictionary is a key value pair. So tally of, suppose a key value. So here it is like it won't allow actually a duplicate value, and in if at all you have a duplicate value, then it is going to keep only the one value. The other duplicate values it is going to take out. So this is how you can create a dictionary which is a key value pair. So key value pair, let me run this, and also I can print tally. Oh, sorry, here there is a mistake. Key value. Okay, so now I want to find a particular value by using the key. You cannot use the indexes here. You can use tally of Ragu. This is the key. Using this, you can get the value. So the value is 9845847447. You want to get the keys, all the keys. Then you can say tally dot keys. You can get all the keys. Similarly, you want to get a value. You can say tally dot values. So all the values, if you want to get both the key and values, you can do so along with a loop, which I will be introducing later. So let me just type like for loop k comma v, k and value, and then you say tally in k and v in tally dot items. It is going to give the dictionary items, so I can print the key and the value. Okay, so this is how we can get the key and value. And one more thing, just coming back to the list again, like if I want to update a particular value, then I can do so using say data of say 2, index 2, I want to change it to, say here it is 0 1 2, which is 8. I want to change it to letter 8. I can do so. So I can change it here. So if you see now, the data is 8. Similarly here, if you want to change in the dictionary, then you have to use the update. So delete.update of, again, dictionary symbol, and then update is a function. Inside the function, again, we have a key value pair. Suppose I want to change my number to something else. 3, I want to change it, then it gets updated. Okay, so this is how we will use a dictionary. Next we have a tuple. Tuple is like a constant list. You cannot change it once you define it. In the sense, let me say data 1, and let me, the tuple is represented using a parenthesis, say 2 comma 5 comma 7 comma 8. So I cannot do the append, dot append. You cannot do the append on the tuple. It says tuple object has no attribute append. So only suppose if I want to change in data 1 of, you can do the slicing and all, that's fine. And say 1, I want to change it to 5. So when I do so, it says tuple does not support the item assignment. Okay, so this is how we can use these data structures, which are very much useful when we are doing the serious programming, especially the list and the dictionary are very much important. So next we will go through the loops and the conditional statements. So as you know, like if I want to do some repetitive task, I can use the loops. So how to use a loop? Like here it supports like while loop and the for loop. Suppose I want to print 1 to 10. So let me use the loops, while loop. So while and for, right? Let me start with the while loop. So how to use a while loop? So I can say I want to print numbers 10. Then I can say start. I want to start with 1. I want to end with 10. And I can say while start is lesser than or equal to end. Then while you have to have a colon, and then the indentation comes. So here you should be aware of the indentation. So indentation, like after the while, it is 4 spaces or 1 tab. So here I am going to say print start, and then I have to increment the start. Start is equal to start plus 1. This is what I have to do. So when I run this, it prints 1 to 10, right? So like this I can use the while loop. So here till the time the condition is true, it is going to keep on getting inside the loop. So start with 1, as 1 is lesser than or equal to end, right? 10, as it is true, it gets inside the loop. So here a bit different from other programming languages where you have an open flower bracket and close flower bracket. Here we do not have the concept of open flower bracket and close flower bracket. So this is how we can use the while. Same thing if I want to do a for, then with for we will be using one number generator, which is a range, for I in range of say 10. So range is like a number generator. It generates a number, range of 10 generates a number from 0 to 9. So totally it generates 10 numbers, but it is 0 to 9. Then I can say print I. Then it prints this. It prints 0 to 9. If I want to print like 1 to 10, then I can say for I in range 1 comma 11, because last index -1, again by default the increment or decrement is 1 here. So if I say print I, it is going to generate the numbers from 1 to 10. It is going to generate numbers from 1 to 10. If I want to like print 2 stable, then how to do? Like I can say starting number is 2, ending number is 21, because last number -1 and the increment or decrement is 2. So this is how I can print. So in this just 2 lines of code, you can print 2 stable, 2 to 20, right? So easy, right? So this is how I can use the for. And also you want to do a break and continue. Again, it supports break and continue for I in say range 1 comma 11. I want to break when it is 5. Let us say, then I can use along with this if condition, if I is equal to say 5, then I want to break. Otherwise, I want to keep on printing print I. So in this case, what is first it will come I is 1. Then as I is not equal to 1 is not equal to 5, it will continue. It won't get inside the if condition. Then it will be printing 1 like that. So once I is assigned to 5 at that time, it is going to come out of the loop. So another is continue. Continue is the skip. So in this case, it is not going to print 5. Other than 5, all other numbers gets printed. Again, you need not use any semicolon or anything here. So this is how, except for, you can look here, like except for 5, it prints everything. So this is how we can use. The next thing is like if condition. So it is similar to any other programming languages. Let me say age is equal to some hard code. I'm hard coding the value, say 70, and then I can say if age is greater than or equal to 18, we can say print you are eligible to vote, right? Else again colon, again look at the indentation. So if I run it, you will get like this, you are eligible to vote. So what if I wanted to do conditions like continuous conditions I want to check, then I can do like if else if kind of a thing. Here else if is called as elif. Suppose let me say I want to decide the grade based on the number scored by a student. Suppose I say marks. Now let me hard code the value. Suppose say 85, and I can put a condition if marks is greater than 90, greater than or equal to 90, and marks is lesser than or equal to 100, then we can say print say A plus, grade is A plus. Then else if, it is called elif, ELF, else if, elif, and again you can keep on putting this condition like marks is greater than or equal to 80, lesser than or equal to 90. We can say print A. Like this, we can keep on checking the condition. So just let me stop here at else. Else. So else again colon, this is not required. Grade other than A plus or A, right? This is how we can do. Yeah, this is how we can do. So 85 falls under like this grade A, right? So this is how we can use the conditional statements. Like similar to any other programming language. Only thing is you should be beware of the indentation. Okay. So let me move ahead and let us see how to get the user inputs. User inputs.py. So suppose I want to ask the user to enter his name. Then what I can do? You can use something called input. Input, enter name. Whatever the name he enters, I want to store it into a variable. Let me store it as name is equal to this, and I can print that. Print name. So when I run this, it will ask the user to input a value, like for example, name. I say Raghu, then it prints Raghu. So now let us see what is the data type of this name. So print type of name. By default, it is string. So whatever the user enters, it is considered as a string. Suppose I want to get the number, then I want to convert it into a number, that is called casting. Suppose I say age is equal to input enter age. As age is treated like a number, if I want to do any mathematical operation, then you can, you cannot use it like a string here. It is a string, so I have to convert into int. Then it is called casting, converting from one format to another format. In this way, I can convert it to this thing and then print age. Right, I can print the age, enter the age. So whatever the age I enter, so then it prints like the age. Similarly, if I want to take input as a amount, then I can say amount. It may be a fraction, so here I have to cast it to float. Int enter input enter purchase amount. Then let me print that value. So purchase amount, suppose like say I purchase some Bata shoe. So you know, like Bata shoe is 0.99. So it says like 2000.9. So this is how you can use the user inputs. So now let us move to the another interesting topic, which is functions. So the function. So how to define a function here? Here we have to use a keyword def. Say I want to say greet. I want to write a function called greet. Again, greet open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and then colon, and then I want to greet with hello. Welcome to Python. Right? So this is how I define a function. Again, please be aware that you in a function here again you don't have an open flower bracket, close flower bracket. Again, it all depends on the indentation. So till the time the statements are in the same indent, then it is part of the that particular function block. So now how to call the function? How to call the function is like you can use greet. So this is how you can call the function. So it says okay, greet is not defined. Let me run everything. Yeah, it says hello, welcome to Python. So this is greet is the greet here we are calling the function, and it is not having any parameter here. So let me pass with the parameter define greet and then the name whom I want to greet. Then let me say print. So with the name, welcome Python, right? So then greet, say the name. Let me say Ravi. If I do this, so now it is welcome to Ravi. So here Ravi is passed as a parameter. That's how we can do. We can do simple calculations like define simple interest, and also it can return a value. Let me say, let me pass parameter like principal, rate, time, and then I can say return p star r star t, principal, rate, and time. This is how we can calculate the simple interest, right? So simple interest. So let me say I keep 1,000 rupees in a bank and rate of interest is 6%, and if it is 1 year, so let us see how much value I am going to get. How much is a simple interest? Right? So this is how I can call a function. Yeah. So this is a brief introduction about how to use the function, and let us move to the last topic for in this crash course, which is object-oriented programming. I won't be delving too deep into it. Just let me introduce you to the concept of class and object. So let me create something called, so this is object-oriented. So class and object dot py. So how to define a class? Let me define a class called as calculator. So class calculator, and then colon, and then let me have some methods like add, divide, multiply, and all. Suppose a def, that is a function def, and then add, and the first parameter in a method in a class is should be self. Let me pass two values like number1 comma num1 and num2. So when I do the addition, what I'm doing is I'm just say returning num1 plus num2, and also I can assign, okay, let me return num1 plus num2. So I want to create the instance of this class, then I can do, suppose I say calc is equal to calculator. So here this is a class and this is a method, and these are the two variables, namely number1 and number2. The first parameter of any method should be self. So what is self and all, I will come to know, you will come to know in a while. Suppose now if I say calc dot add, let me pass some two numbers 100 comma 200, and let me assign it to a variable called sum or like total, and then let me print it. Right? So this is how you can create a class. So here what is, see, when you are calling that method add, you are not passing the parameter self. Self is nothing but the instance. So the self represent the calc instance. So what is calc? Calc is an object and the calculator is a class. So this is how you can use. Another concept is constructor, like which is used to create, which is used to pass some parameter when we are creating a class or an object. So that is what is a constructor. Let us see how to you create a constructor. Let me create a class called as account. And when you want to create an account, like when you go to a bank, first you have to give the bank like some details like your name, your address, your identification and all. Then they're going to create an account number, right? So how to do it? We can use a constructor def underscore underscore init. This is called as a constructor, and then I have to pass the first parameter again is self. I want to pass name, right? And then your email, your mobile, say, and then your email, mobile, and then address proof, right? So these are the things you want to pass, let us say. Then what they are going to do, they are going to, okay, let me now make these variables as an instance variable. This is the local variable. I want to access these variables throughout my program. Then I let me create an instance. How to create an instance variable? I have to say self dot name is equal to name, self dot, this is similar to this in Java, email is equal to email, self dot mobile is equal to mobile, self dot address proof is equal to address proof, right? So now I want to return an account number. Let me just hard code some value like self dot account number is equal to some number. Let me say account number is 101. Let me hard code the value. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So you have gone to a bank and you have given all the details. It has given you a account number, let us say. So now with the self dot account number, this account number is accessible throughout your program. Now let me say I want to create a method, and also let me add something called balance, self dot balance. Initially let me say I'm going to create a zero balance account. Now I want to deposit the money. Then I can say def deposit self. When I want to deposit the money, I want to pass the account number, right? So ACT number, and then I want to deposit the amount. Then what will happen? Like when you deposit the money, your balance will increase, right? So then I say self dot balance is equal to self dot balance plus amount, right? This is how I can do the simple banking on top. So this is how you can access this variable. Now let me create the account. Let me create my account. Raghu account is equal to, what is this? This is the account. Then when you are having a constructor, you have to pass all those values like namely name, email, all these things. Mobile, and say address proof is some number. Let me say some number, Aadhaar number or anything. This is just a fake number. And then I am saying Raghu account, then I will get the account number, right? So because I can access the account number from this, yeah, Raghu account dot account number. So I can print the account number. So I create the instance and then I'm getting the account number. Let me run this. Okay, so my account number. Now I want to deposit the money. So I have the account number, then let me deposit. Raghu ACT dot deposit. When I want to deposit, what are the two things required? One is like the account number. Another one is the amount to deposit. So let me deposit 10,000. Then let me see the balance. It is going to give me the balance, right? I think, yeah, I have to return the balance. Say return self dot BAL. So this is what is the balance. So let me say BAL is equal to this and I can print the balance. So now my balance would be 10,000 because I started with zero balance. Okay, balance is none. Let us see. Okay, okay. So I have to do some mathematics. Self dot balance. Balance is equal to self dot balance plus, yes, deposit account number 10,000. Yeah, it is okay. I have not run that because after. Okay, so my balance is. So that's it about the brief crash course. I mean, it is a crash course on Python. So there are so many things are there. So in 1 hour or so, 1 hour to or so, like let I wanted to just introduce you to a concept of introduce you how Python is easy to code and how you can learn Python quickly. Thanks. Anyways, I will put the code into the Git and you can approach us for the many programs we conduct. So we are all IT professionals, and our vision is to skill, upskill, and reskill, basically to bridge the gap between academia and the industry from the student perspective. Similarly, upskilling is very much essential for the experienced IT professionals. So, looking forward to meet you in any of our courses. Thank you. Thanks for watching us. Please subscribe to our channels. So stay tuned for exciting new videos on the latest technologies. Thanks once again.